Today we're busting Italian food myths. Have we been sold lies about Italian food? Do you actually have to add vodka to vodka sauce? Do you need to hand knead your pasta dough? Do you need to respect your elders? Or are these just myths peddled from nonna to nonna waiting to be busted? To find out, we've assembled this highly trained team of serious culinary professionals to put them to the test. Because this is
Myth Munchers!
And Italia. Myth Munchers! Unlike Italian-American legend Joe DiMaggio. We're about to bust some Italian food myths today. First up, making fresh pasta. Do you actually have to hand knead it? We're about to find out. Myth number 2, do you need to neutralize the acidity in tomato sauce? We're about to find out. Myth number 3, why do people add good old vodka that you could be partying with into their sauce? Who knows? We're about to use some science, see what the dealio is. And then finally, cannoli dough. What is it? Is it a myth? Is it fact, fiction? We're gonna see what happens when we add wine versus not. So, y'all are gonna make your guesses on what you think the winning myths are gonna be. Here, take these cards, pass them out. And then while I have you here, we have the official Mythical Kitchen pronunciation guide to Italian classics, because I can't be bothered to talk full words. So prosciutto becomes prosciutto. Ricotta, that's regat. Mozzarella is indeed mozzarella. Fagioli, fazool, we all know that one. Minestrone, nope, that's minestrone. E gets dropped. Calamari is galama, so much funner to say. Spaghetti, well that's SP''GET, pronounced spaghetti. And then penne is penne.
I wish I regot this whole part of this episode.
Prosciutto to you. We're making omelets.
Oh, yes, with the flour.
No, we're making fresh pasta. Do you make a lot of fresh pasta at home?
No.
No?
I don't cook when I go home.
Okay,
I go to sleep.
You cook. I don't cook here anymore, so I actually make fresh pasta. I make a fair amount of fresh pasta at home, and we are testing hand knead, which is a pretty difficult process, especially if you're at home and you don't have a ton of counter space, or if you have the most annoying tile counters in the world.
Oh,
the ones that have the little grout in the middle, and
Yeah.
you're trying to roll pasta on it, and you're just fingering it out like that. I don't know.
Probably other stuff is getting, last night's dinner is getting in there too.
100%. Or can you just chuck it in a machine and then use technology to your advantage? But I also have a personal vendetta. I'll show you the technique that 99% of the world's blogs or nonnas out there, if you don't have a nonna at home to talk to, will tell you to do the well method. So we're gonna start doing that. You're gonna chuck that into a stand mixer.
I'm very pro stand mixer, and I'm gonna let everyone know that's what I voted for.
That's good. She did come in with an I voted and then for stand mixer.
Yeah, I wore the
Sign,
sticker.
actually. Don't blame her. She voted for stand mixer.
I do feel like, though, when you're using a stand mixer, unless if you're a nonna, you are just letting the dough do its thing. And I feel like with a well, you're like, oh, it's getting too dry. Let me add water. And then you add more things. And then suddenly you're off of the recipe.
Well, I make a lot of handmade pasta at home. It's a fun little Friday night activity. It's my anti-drug. Keeps me safe,
healthy.
gives me something to do. But it just gets so annoying when you make the well. I was talking to someone recently and they were talking about making handmade pasta at home, and they were like, it's so hard to gradually add the flour, and it took me 15 minutes. I'm like, why did you do it for 15 minutes? And they're like, I was so worried about adding the flour all at once. And I made the claim that you can just sort of add the flour all at once and you can just mash it together. So when I make fresh pasta at home, I generally just tuck it in a bowl and I don't use the well. But we're gonna test those things together right now to see if you need to make it. If you can see, the well that I'm talking about is this little divot in the flour here.
Interesting well.
What? How would you have done it?
I don't know.
That was the most passive-aggressive comment.
No, I know.
That well's interesting.
It's a great...
In what way, Lily? Enlighten me. I know you voted for
flat.
stand. The idea here is that you start stirring from the inside out and then gradually flour from the base of that well works in here, which I understand why that would be roughly beneficial, but the more you knead pasta dough, it all just sort of comes together and hydrates as it is. Also, we're doing just a simple egg and flour based recipe, which I would associate typically with like bologna. Like bolognese fresh pasta is just super, super eggy.
Yep.
But like a vast majority of the pasta in the world is just flour and water. Like,
What?
oh my God, we were talking about this earlier and Lily was like, I'm gonna act surprised.
Okay, way to call me out.
Some vegans have actually asked me like, I can't eat pasta because it's eggs and flour. It's like, no, most is just water and flour.
Yeah. When you get dry pasta though, like, and it has a yellow tint, is it food coloring?
No, so it actually likely has to do with the type of wheat. So like a durum semolina wheat as opposed to like an AP flour.
Right.
And if we were making like an even more legit Italian pasta, we would probably use a durum or a semolina, which is harder. But you can totally do it with AP flour at home, which is what we're doing now. So I'm gradually incorporating a little bit more flour. But as you see the well method, you sort of just, it spreads all over your counter. And then there's a gunk on it. And then you gotta come in with the bench scraper.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
you're
that's gonna exacerbate any relationship issues, you know, that you might have in regards to like who believes like what, like who has, so I'll clean things.
Yeah, okay.
But then sometimes, you know, my roommate will come in
Yeah, your roommate.
and she'll be like, that's not clean. And I'm like, well, I don't know, I washed it. And then she'll be like, what's that? And I'll be like, I can see how you think that's not clean.
Wait, what does this have to do with pasta?
Because the counter, it gets the counter all covered in mud.
yeah.
So I'm getting to the point now where the dough's like pretty formed and the well has broken down, but also like you have the base of like a well-formed dough here, right?
Do you feel like you're gonna need all your flour?
I don't know, but I guess that's part of the benefit of a well is once you start working the dough together, you have like leftover flour on the outside that you can either use or not use. You'll know your dough's too dry because it's just not coming together.
Yeah, at this point, if there's like little scraggly bits, I'd probably waste this and take this out because otherwise you're gonna have lumps in there.
And once you start working a dough out on the board, it'll actually hydrate a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it'll feel like it's too dry, but once you start working it,
it comes together.
Yeah. You want me to get some muscle into it?
Yeah.
Well, so now that we've swapped doughs over here, now that I'm working this does feel, once a little bit dry, maybe could have been solved if there was a little bit more egg, but also when you're making pasta, every egg weighs a different amount and has a different quantity of liquid in it. And so like the fact that you have that extra flour and you can do it by feel, that dough in the well does feel a lot better.
Feels like a soft tushy.
How many tushies you out here touching?
A lot of them.
I like a nice rock hard tushy, one that's been doing its Bulgarian split squats.
Yeah, they're not all soft.
I know that this was my little pet project where I was like, I think you can just dump it into a bowl and mash it. And I'm having a hard time. I really have to drive off of my back foot on every need to get it to work. But I think it's still gonna come together. But immediately I feel like my stupid idea failed.
They rested. They took a little nappy.
Yeah, I need a little nappy.
Me too. That sounds nice.
Would they still? We have pastas.
Yeah.
We rolled out the pasta doughs and we cut them with a knife, do a little hand cut tagliatelle or tagliolini situation, a little fettuccine, if you will. Not a lot of visible difference from any of these. I will say the difference between the stand mixer and the hand kneaded ones is these might have been a little bit drier.
Yep.
Just because with the well, I'm kind of already sold on the well technique, even though I just was the one who started this all by crapping all over it. When you're making pasta in the well, you can stop when you feel that the dough is ready.
There's more control.
There's more control.
Yeah,
we
wanna
have
have
control issues as chefs.
Yes.
So I think that's really important. So these might have been a little bit drier. You can feel this one might be a little bit firmer to the touch than this one.
This is a lot softer.
But this one might taste better because with the KitchenAid, you probably got a lot more kneading, so there might be more gluten development, which might give it like a nicer bite. But we're gonna drop it in the water and figure it out.
Yeah. I was doing a weird thing with my arm and going like this before we cooked the pasta, and I was trying to like imitate a dough hook in the stand mixer to see if I could like do that when I needed it. You know what I mean?
It was like when I was a kid and I'd see birds flying, I'd try and imitate them to think that I could maybe take off.
Oh, did you ever jump off a tree?
No, I was too portly to climb up the tree to then be able to jump off.
Got it.
Yeah, I was more of a ground kid, you know what I mean? Good on the ground, bad up in the air. We have the 3 pastas right here. Not much to tell until we actually eat it. You want to get to it?
Yeah, I do.
We just mixed it with a little bit of butter because we wanted to make it pleasant for ourselves. Which one should we try first? Should we go with the well?
Okay, yeah, you believe in this one.
Yeah. Also, I believe in eating all noodles with chopsticks regardless of the provenance from which they came.
I just like butter noodles. Has good give. Nice bounce, nice chew. Okay.
I mean, that's a good noodle. It's
I like
it's
it.
supple. It's nice. Let's see if there's any difference in this one. Here, you get first crack.
Thanks.
Can I put pepper on it?
Sure. Well, no.
I don't want it.
It's a test.
I want to eat nice foods.
It is like harder to me.
This one does feel like a little bit more rustic in a bad way. Like a Nona cooked it, but like a Nona who, she grew up during the war, never really had to cook. She was in the factories, you know, and she's trying her best. You know, but her food's just always a little bit rougher than the other Nonas in certain ways. Not all grandmas know how to cook, right? Mine certainly didn't.
This one's softer, but it still has that like bounce and chew to it.
It's kind of perfect.
Nice.
It's like delicate, but it has a little bit of strength. And then stand mixa.
Let me mix it up.
We put a lot of butter in the noodles.
I know.
Princess bites, Josh. Princess bites.
This one doesn't have as much like bounce to me as the other two.
Which is interesting because we probably needed it for longer. However,
Yeah.
kneading it in a stand mixer for 5 minutes, nobody exactly knows how much that translates to like really getting your palm into it and driving it. When you're doing the stand mixer, like the dough is working through it. So kneading, right? You're physically
Doing this.
Yeah, show them how you do
This
it.
one.
Versus if I'm really here
Yeah.
and I'm really working it.
This is the dough hook.
Like, okay, if we're talking numbers here real quick, stand mixer, it's kind of go ahead, do it again. How many like pounds per square inch of force? Like, just not to be that guy, but like, you know, I can bench like close to 300 pounds, probably about 285 right now. If I'm really like putting a lot of force into it with one arm, that's at least like 160 pounds probably of pressure, because the right side's my good side. When I bench, I'm here.
You know when it gets like overheated?
Yeah.
And it just starts.
And so I'm here, and I'm benching into the pasta.
Yeah, you're all like this.
Yeah.
I'm all like this.
So ultimately, I think I know where I stand on this one.
Yeah, I really thought this one, but
You have voter's remorse now.
I do.
2016 all over again. The winner officially, hand kneaded well.
Hand-kneaded
That
well.
means that myth munched us.
Hey everybody! That was pretty crazy, right? You saw the lots of gyrating in the last bit.
Yeah.
You might see the same amount of gyrating, only time will tell.
Not for me.
We are going to be making a delicious tomato sauce.
Yes, we will.
With a base of onions, garlic, chili pepper, oil, all that fun good stuff. Just your classic tomato sauce. Start with oil, right?
Yes.
We're going to add our garlic and onions, right?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to let these get a little bit sweaty, a little bit soft.
So we're actually testing. A lot of people who make homemade tomato sauce is very acidic. So we are testing to see what is the best neutralizer for that.
That's
Carrot,
right.
Baking soda, sugar. We're gonna find out.
Right. So the reason why a lot of people use carrots is because, well, first of all, it's like an old Nona thing. You just drop in some carrot to neutralize the acid. So the thing is, carrots are actually a highly alkaline vegetable, and they are able to neutralize the acid in there. And the baking soda also does the same thing. It totally neutralizes any sort of acid in there. You ever made a volcano in middle school?
We made missions.
You made. I
Fourth grade.
also made missions. Oh my god!
Fourth grade missions?
Did you ever go to the missions too?
No.
Oh, I went to the mission.
I was sad.
But basically, if you ever
Baking
saw like a baking soda and vinegar solution, they kind of explode together and then it neutralizes. Same thing is going to happen with our tomatoes. And then sugar. Sugar actually doesn't do any sort of neutralizing.
No.
It just sweetens it to kind of trick your mind into assuming.
It tricks your palate.
Yes, it tricks your palate and your mind.
tongue. I like to think sugar is like a. Can I say ass?
You could say ass on the
Oh,
show. Of
okay. It's
course.
like a put a band-aid on it ass mentality. Like here, just drop it in there and fix it.
Yeah.
But that
yeah.
band-aid isn't gonna do anything.
Right.
It's still bleeding underneath.
So we're gonna let this sweat a little bit more. We're gonna add some salt. We're gonna add our chili flakes, our tomato passata. And by the time you come back, we're gonna add all of our neutralizers and see which one works the best.
Grab those pasadas, Nona Nicole.
I'm like one of those beer mates, you know, the beer ladies at Oktoberfest.
Yeah, the ones that come in ready to go with Das Boot. Is that what it's called?
Das Boot.
Das Boot.
Das, right. Oh my god, this is violent. This is violent. I'm
No,
turning
yeah,
this
okay.
down.
I see why Josh has so
I'm
much fun
turning
mixing
this.
the
Why
two.
did I wear white? Why did I wear
Yes.
white? Okay, I'm gonna add my sugar, yeah?
I'm gonna add my carrots.
Okay.
Beautiful carrots. Bugs Bunny would be proud.
And then you can do the honors of the baking soda.
I shall.
Is there any reaction happening to the baking?
Let's see. We're getting some foam.
Are we? That's so cool. Oh my god,
Getting
do
some
you
foam.
Do you
Do you
see
hear
that?
that? Do you hear that?
That is crazy.
Can you hear that, Tally?
So So it's bubbling.
It's bubbling.
Just like the volcano.
Yes.
That you did in middle school. I don't know if you did it, Annalise, because you were homeschooled, but it's totally happening right now.
You know,
so
homeschool is actually a flex. You got to be at home all the time.
Yeah.
So flex that, Annalise.
Hey, we can do the volcano now if you want. We can do the volcano after we wrap. But
Wow.
this is okay.
This is so crazy.
I think we have to let this cook a little bit.
Yeah.
Cook down a little bit.
100%.
And kind of let it chill a little bit and then give it a taste test. How does that sound?
Yeah, let the volcano relax. What's that?
It's a pH strip.
Whoa.
This is how scientific we've gotten over the past few years. We are literally using science-based testing to find out what pasta sauce is the least acidic.
Multiple degrees over here.
So if you go ahead. So we're gonna stick our pH strips for 1 second into our sauce, lift it up, give it a quick swipe. Sorry, I tasted it because I'm a hungry girl. And then we're going to see which sauce, according to the following, what would you call this, bank? Would you call this a bank?
It's just a chart, I
A
guess.
chart, if you will, which is the most acidic.
And they're all different.
Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh. Can I just say that the sugar-based sauce, we are in the very acidic. We are in the acidic territory.
That looks like a solid 4.
That looks like a 4. And this is the base strip test. Look at that. I mean, that third strip is not even green anymore. That is insane. So we're in the
sugar, yeah.
So we're in the very acidic range. We know that, all right, because we do know that it masks it. Doesn't really do anything. Is this baking soda?
This is baking soda.
Baking soda. Okay, so we can see the green over here.
Yeah.
I think we're also in the acidic range, but we're more of a 5 instead of like a 3 or a 4, how we were
Right.
with the sugar. So that did something. It is still considered acidic, but it is much less acidic.
Right?
And
Okay.
carrot.
It's the last one.
Carrot didn't do anything, man.
It looks as
Carrot did nothing. Carrot did the same thing as sugar.
it's the twin.
These are so interesting. Oh my god, look. Carrot and sugar are literally the same.
Exact same. That's really surprising, actually.
So baking soda works the best, but I think the only way we can make this legit is if we do a blind taste test.
I'm ready. Nicole, are you ready?
My eyes are closed.
Let me get my spoons.
So
Okay.
he's gonna put a random sauce in my mouth. I'm not gonna know which one it is, and I have to guess which one is the most perceived acidic out of the 3.
All right, Nicole, are you ready for your first one?
Yeah.
Airplane. Boop, boop. Oop, I might have got some on you.
That's all right. Okay, that's a pretty good sauce.
You ready for your next one?
Yes, I am.
What's the other? Fighter airplane. Yeah, nice. Real
I
nice.
felt that on my titty.
Sorry. Okay, last one.
Okay.
This one's just going straight in it. Okay, I'll actually cover your titties this time. Yeah, nice. Good side mouth. I don't... Oh, what's happening? Sorry, David.
Wow.
I have a feeling I already know what you're going to say.
The least acidic one was the one I just had. That was crazy. Can I open my eyes?
Really? Yeah, you can.
The least acidic one I had was the one
You just ate?
I just ate it literally didn't even taste like tomato sauce.
That's this one!
That neutralized the acid so much it's not even tomatoey. It
Really?
it literally doesn't taste like tomato at all because tomatoes have a natural acidic.
Right.
Wow, I just saw my shirt. Okay.
The second one was the sugar.
And I thought sugar was the most acidic.
Yeah.
Sugar was the most. You should try these. You should
I'm
find
about
out which
to.
one is the best tasting one. Maybe in the
Lot of
future
spoons.
we'll put a little bit less baking
Right.
soda because it did neutralize it in such
much?
a way that almost doesn't taste like tomato any longer.
Whoa.
Carrot tastes good.
Carrot just tastes good. It's just like naturally makes it better.
Yeah.
And it balances it out.
Look at this.
Best of both worlds. Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
It kind of
that
tastes
mental?
like... It's weird.
It's almost too much.
It just tastes like mush. Like almost like baby food.
Yeah, because the acid's completely gone.
Yeah.
I'm team carrot, dude.
I might be Team Nona, Team Carrot. It just makes sense. Because if you mess around and put too much baking soda in that one, it can get really bitter and like change the whole
Off.
flavor.
Off.
And it'll just be disgusting. But
Right.
carrot just seems like right in the middle. It just like raises the pH balance perfectly, and it's just like a natural flavor enhancer.
So even though most people are using sugar, this myth
Has been munched.
You gotta shake the pans. This ain't a myth. This works. Not too much,
Okay.
Lily. He's dead. You
Okay.
killed him. We're making not penne al vodka. We're making rigatoni al vodka
Oh,
because
rigatone.
Rigatone. Oh, my gosh. I'm so sorry. We're making rigatone. Rigatone. My favorite rigatone artist is Tego Calderon. You know, really set the scene. Today we're asking the question: do you actually have to add vodka? Because it's such a neutral spirit, right? I can't kind of imagine what it would do, especially if you're cooking out the alcohol.
People say on the internet that the aroma intensifies.
Ooh.
The flavors intensify.
Ooh.
And it also helps like evaporate. That's
the
what they
whole
said.
sauce?
The tomato sauce evaporates.
I've seen people say all kinds of things. It helps the sauce emulsify, which I guess if you're adding cream to acid, that could potentially curdle, but you're doing it so quick. I read the original usage of vodka in pasta. The first time it was ever recorded in 1974. Italian actor Ugo Tognazzi. He made a recipe for a dish called penne all'infuriata. These furious pasta, and he claimed that the vodka added a little bit of like heat or spice, which
Oh.
makes sense because vodka burns when you drink it.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna test out what it actually does with all this. So in this, we added the vodka at the beginning of the cooking process to see what would happen if a lot of that alcohol is cooked out of it, but you still get a little flavor of that vodka because alcohol does act as a sugar in a lot of ways. And then we have one that's just a delightful tomato cream sauce with no vodka to act as a control. And then Lily, you're doing the pyrotechnics over here.
I've never flambéed on a camp, so I'm a little nervous, but there's first
You gotta
time for
crank it high,
everything.
dude. You gotta crank it high.
I'm going. No.
Crank it.
No.
Slam it.
You have to turn
Smang
it off. No, you have to turn it off first for safety. I'm gonna do it on the side.
It's not gonna
Okay.
light now. Jesus Christ, Lily.
What?
Is it lit on fire?
Yes?
Okay, there it is. Shake it, shake it. You gotta shake it. Now you shake it. There you go. Now you can see it. Now you can see it. Okay.
That was.
There you go. Okay, so now I'd say toss it now. 'Cause
Toss
you
it
don't
now,
want-
toss it,
Toss
toss it,
pasta in. Toss
toss
pasta.
it.
We're going
Okay.
pasta in.
Oh,
We're going heavy
you're
cream
going-
in.
okay, you're going
We're going
pasta
pasta then
first?
cream. Well, I don't know. You can
Okay,
do
go,
either.
go,
It's all
go,
just
go,
gonna
go.
cook together. Okay, so we're going pasta. Then we're going cream. Just gonna get that little shimmy shake down. There we go. I'm gonna go pasta and
Oh,
cream.
gosh. Okay.
And the other one that has no vodka in it.
Use your spoon.
I'm trying my best.
Wow, these spoons are so cool.
Oh, they're the Mythical Kitchen spoons, eh?
Yes, they
Look at
are.
us, dude.
I think for the flambe, it adds like a caramelization on the tomatoes, you know?
It definitely does. Yeah, I mean, alcohol is just sugar at the end of the day. Somebody who's done science, please tell me that that's not exactly the case. But I think that is part of it.
I drink a lot of sugar on the weekends, am I right?
Are you okay? What are you getting? The aromas. Let's talk about the aromas.
Oh yeah, let's.
You smell the liquor.
You risk not burning off all the alcohol, maybe.
Well, but
like,
also like I think sometimes people burn off too much alcohol when it's like if you're adding like in a dessert, right? Like
Yeah.
you want to taste the rum if you're adding it to a
Yes.
Bananas Foster. And so if you like burn all of it off and keep cooking it down, you're kind of losing a lot of that aroma and character.
I agree.
I think it's gonna taste good.
But like,
Also, wait, did that emulsify better than these?
yeah, I mean,
The
maybe,
color looks better even.
Maybe I'm just like a better chef. Oh, do you want to add cheese or later?
It's a cheese. Are you gonna eat this pasta with
I-
cheese? Or are you
I
gonna eat
just
pasta
gotta-
with cheese?
Watch this. Just,
Here,
I'm
we're
not
gonna
gonna
measure-
stop.
measure it with the hand.
Okay, measure it.
Measure it with the hand.
But keep your hand under it because I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
Why do you keep going higher?
Well, because you keep raising yours higher, and then some of it falls in there. This is how we get control.
Okay, just put it in one section so we don't have to grate more. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I got you. Here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We'll just half it. Okay. This is scientific control, folks.
Yes.
What are we trying for? Let's just try the control first.
Okay, control.
I would taste that and would be like, that's a great pasta dish. Don't need no vodka, right?
I think you could tell me though that there was vodka in it. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, 100%. Should we go over here now? Honest to God, looks better.
Okay.
Wait,
Taste the vodka.
wait, hold on. I have an idea.
What?
You taste the vodka, and it's you taste it and it's bitter. However, all the other flavors are a lot more intense.
Yeah, you can taste the tomato more. Even
Yeah.
the cream, I feel like.
I'm curious if
richness.
we keep this going for like 2 minutes and let some of that vodka boil out. Let's wait a second and come over here, see if we can taste any of the vodka that has boiled out. So this, in theory, should be a little bit sweeter than the no vodka.
Interesting.
Whoa.
This is more like acidic.
Yeah. This tastes better.
Yeah,
No?
I'm gonna try this one again.
Are you going straight while it's cooking?
Well,
We have boiling liquor pasta.
Okay, we're gonna try this one again, okay? Just blow. Do you want me to blow on it for you?
No, that's weird. Now it's infantilizing for me now. I feel patronized too.
I wouldn't like give it to my kid, but I'd have it on the weekends with my other sugar juice.
Hey kid, you want to party? Fun dad's in town. We're getting drunk off pasta. This to me is unequivocally the winner.
Really?
Yeah, what, do you think the vodka's too much?
Yeah.
It is a little bit bitter. However, I think maybe if you cooked it a little bit longer or if you
Yep.
just added slightly less vodka.
Yeah.
But like if we're trying to prove what vodka does, Ugo Tognazzi, like for real, the guy who first wrote about this, talked about the liquor giving a spicy flavor, and like that's exactly what you're getting in a way that you can't get from capsaicin.
It is intensifying like all the flavors.
Even though a lot of vodka sauce recipes will tell you to add it at the beginning, when you add it at the end and flambe it, you get a lot of those aromatic compounds. That is definitely the winner. That means that myth has been munched. Friends, we've reached the end of the road. For an Italian meal, that means one thing. The nonna comes out of the kitchen and she hits you with the rolling pin, going, "Bastardo! Bastardo!"
What does that
And you
mean?
go, "I'm not your..."
Bastard. That means bastard.
We're eating dessert. We got cannolis here, and we have 3 different doughs here because we've made cannoli before on the show. And,
Cannoli.
and they, I'm so sorry, we've made cannolis. They say the traditional Sicilian way is to add Marsala wine, which is a fortified wine, to the dough, and we had always assumed that was because alcohol has a lower evaporation and boiling point, and that would make it give more crispy bubbles. But then we'd also heard that sherry vinegar can also be common, which is interesting because vinegar has a higher boiling point than water, which would mean less bubbles. And then we did one where we didn't add none of that, and we just added water, and these all look wildly different. You want to feel the dough, see what you can glean from it.
Soft.
Soft.
Less soft? Hard.
Squishy.
Harder in the Marsala. Can you raise that dough so I can push it?
Al Franken right now.
Also, what we learned from
Nobody says bless you.
Bless you! Bless you, Nicole!
This one.
What we learned from vodka pasta, maybe the flavors are like a little more intensified.
That could also be it. Marsala also has sugar in it, which is going to get you a little bit more browning, which we do
Interesting.
see right
Thicker
here.
flavor.
But also this doesn't seem as like bubbly and craggly, and the sugar could do that. Another thing, so like what gives a dough the ability to trap air?
Is this a pop
You're
quiz?
asking
Gluten!
Vodka?
Vodka, Lily's stuck on the vodka train. Gluten gives dough the ability to trap air. That's how bread rises, right? But with the Marsala wine, alcohol does inhibit gluten development, supposedly. That could be another reason why. But that would also give it less of a hard sort of crunch and more of like a subtle pastry feel. Should we eat these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, we got a
Crushed pistachios on your
classic small plate restaurant of serving 2 desserts for 4 people. Well, it's Crackman half. Which one do you want to try first?
Wait, look at it. These look the same. You're just adding 2 tablespoons of sherry vinegar to this. I mean,
Yeah.
like you would think these would look a lot more similar. I don't know.
No, I agree with that. Like, it was surprising that this is the most violently different one. I wonder if
Yeah.
these are going to taste similar.
The bubbles are insane on that one.
The little
Yeah.
bublettos?
I like the bubbles.
Is
Yeah.
that Italian for bubble?
It is now. Little bublettes.
Yeah,
Little Michael Bublettes. I like his Christmas album. Okay.
Marsala.
Grazie.
Prego.
But pregnant?
What?
That's just a good cannoli, man.
Wow.
How do you guys feel about the texture of the outside?
I ate the whole thing.
You didn't even think about it? You just ate it?
I tried to take a bite, but then it was going to squeeze out.
So it's cool when you black out, but when I do it, it's not too crunchy, which I like, you know?
Yeah, no, it has a pastry feel.
Which I'm looking
It has
for
a
in a
pastry feel,
cannoli.
which is good.
Pleasant.
Like, if you just want to eat, egg roll, which, this is an egg roll.
This is actually a dumpling,
Like, yum.
but it doesn't have any flavor.
Yeah, this one
It's
has
just
more
really
flavor.
flaky.
Yeah.
The texture on this, though, it's crazy. It's not cannoli, right? Like, the
Yeah,
texture isn't
exactly.
giving
I think it's
cannoli.
It's giving.
It's given egg roll. Okay, water and sherry vinegar. I'm excited about this.
It almost tastes chalky to me.
Definitely different than the water. More similar to the Marsala.
I really like that.
I do too. I think it's a little bit lighter and like crispier. I don't know.
If you think about the sugar content of Marsala, like that would inhibit something from getting crispy because it's going to start to caramelize in the fryer before it actually dehydrates and gets crispy. I have my personal favorite though.
Me too.
I think the Marsala, to me, the Marsala one tastes the best,
Absolutely agree.
right?
All the way around, buddy.
Boom.
I disagree.
I do
The
too.
water and sherry vinegar, all the flavors make so much sense, and the textures I think make a lot of sense. It harkens back to this very specific flavor and texture that a cannoli has.
I agree.
Funny.
We're split.
We're split.
I'm getting that from Marsala.
Well, we're getting that from water and cherry vinegar.
Hey, you
So
guys
what?
go over there. Okay, now
you
rock,
guys
paper, scissors,
have
rock, paper,
no
scissors.
flavor,
No, but you go rock, paper,
okay?
scissors.
That's
You-
fine.
Rock, paper, scissors then.
Okay. On three.
There's only
on
so
shoot.
Italy.
Do you
go?
rock, paper, scissors, shoot? You guys do
Okay,
it.
we do. Okay.
We do whatever you want.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, sorry.
Dang, we lost. Well, that's fine. Now we can.
Why did I go for scissors?
Ultimately, looks like the decision down to a game of chance and skill, Lily. that was skill.
Rochambeau.
No, that was weird.
Yeah. Water and cherry vinegar is the winner. Technically, that means
This
myth has been
munched.
Myth Munchers, we have successfully represented the nation of Italy and all of its best interests, and we have found out that when it comes to making fresh pasta, hand kneading it does give you more consistent results, especially when you make a well. I'm completely sold on that because you can do it by feel, estimate more flour or more water as you go, and you're not just dumping everything into the same system. Myth number 2, tomato sauce. We found that adding a carrot to it adds a little bit of sweetness, adds some aroma. Way better than just adding sugar or baking soda to make it less acidic. Myth number 3, vodka sauce. We found that, yeah, you add vodka at the end, it really does increase those aromas. It adds a sharpness that really plays off of the chili and tomato in there. I was really impressed with that one. And then when it comes to ganool dough, when you're making your ganouls out there, we were split on this, but definitely adding something to the dough is better, and water and sherry vinegar was the winner in that capacity officially, thanks to the rock, paper, scissors, or in Italian,
Rock, paper, scissors.
Scissore. Lily, how many did you get right?
I said a little standy stand mixture, a little shug, a little flammy flambe, and a little marcy mars. 1.
V, how many did you get right?
Hello, I'm Nona V, and here are my predictions. This is also me in about 10 years. I pick Henny, the carrot, vodka, and the Marcella wine.
2.
T, Baltimore ass. Nicole, how many did you get right?
Buongiorno, principessas. I think that stand mixer, carrot, vodka plus flambe, and marsala are going to win. I got 2 right. Josh, how many did you get right?
My name's Josh Scherer, world's #1 supporter of Italy. I believe hand knead, and I think the well is BS. I believe carrot will make the best sauce, vodka con flambe, and marsala. I would like a judge's ruling here. I'd like a judge's ruling. You can see my full card. Because I got 3 right, but then I added an addendum and said the well is BS. This is like in Jeopardy when you added the wrong first name but the right last name, even though if you just said
But
the
you
last
still get
name.
points, right, for the
No,
right
even if you just said the last name, you would have gotten it right, but you added a first name out of hubris and you got it wrong.
So no points.
No points.
Jeopardy.
No points?
Okay.
Okay, well it's a 3-way tie, but ultimately, wait, who lost?
Hi.
I did what?
Well, I lost.
But what we ultimately learned today was that the great and proud nation of Italy and all of their achievements across philosophy, sciences, astronomy, and especially food have added a lot to this great world. Ever since the Bourbon dynasty united the 2 great kingdoms of Sicily across the island to Sardinia, ever since the first Olive Garden opened in Minnesota to great fanfare, ever since Måneskin won 2021's Eurovision, we can all agree that when a Nona chases you down with the rolling pin yelling, "Bastardo! Bastardo!" Hey, we've got a double feature just for you. Watch Survive the Mythical Kitchen and Good Mythical Evening on demand now at mythicalkitchenlive.com.